Good evening, you and Spacey. We're doing an anime live stream yet again. The spotlight being Gungrave, that one anime that you probably never even heard of, but that one game you probably forgot about, but probably played. The exciting game, that is. I have with me my co host, the Georgia Pit Bull, Fish Chozo.
Coming in to say that the game is probably more exciting than this TV show.
Well,
Uh,
you better get around to playing it. It's in every pawn shop around Georgia at
I mean, I
least,
mean, I,
maybe.
uh, I I mean, I don't have a video game console, so it doesn't matter. I probably have to emulate it.
Well,
Well,
you better
when I
get a
get a tech
PS2,
upgrade,
fool.
I would probably have to emulate it when I get a tech upgrade. The game is probably more exciting
Okay.
than this show. This show was not very interesting. It's got kind of zoned out a lot of times. I'll come back on that later. I do know the main characters' names though. I do know
For
the plot though.
once.
I do know the plot.
We have the schooner tuna.
Coming at you live from a secret government facility buried deep underground. This is Schooner Tuna, and I see a figure wearing a long trench coat, blowing in the wind, a silent wind. Upon his hat, a cowboy, and in his each hand he wields Cerberus, his twin handguns, and on his back he carries a coffin filled with heavy weapons. Cloaked in darkness and smelling of the grave, he is back from beyond the grave. This show, Gungrave, is amazing, and I cannot wait to talk about it.
Quick synopsis of the game. The game runs exactly the same as the anime. The anime adds more lore to it, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The game you could complete within an hour, if nothing else. But the game is phenomenal. You know, if you can get around to the controls and stuff, like if you're not so privy to old tech controls, you'll be just fine playing the game. The game is definitely tells a different story. Well, not necessarily a different story, but like characters are modeled differently than they are in the anime, which I will get into the differences here and there when we get around to the characters. Um, as far as the anime is concerned, yeah, Fizz, I'm opposed to you. This anime is still good, but I'm pretty sure there are gonna be some things I can agree with you on. Mostly because from my experience when I first watched this anime, yeah, the anime starts off with a sort of golden age opener, much like
Mm-hmm.
Berserk. Well, first of
Yeah.
all, it starts with its own yeah, yeah. It starts with its own Black Swordsman arc, small Black Swordsman arc in the beginning, and then we stop right there and just go right into the backstory, which I would like to call the golden age of Gungrave, which
Mm-hmm.
talks about the characters that they don't really expand upon in the first game, which is you kind of get a little snippets when you talk to the characters when you're in the sort of what is called what I like to call their war room when you go
Mm-hmm.
before you go into the next level and start shooting up shit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they even introduced other characters that didn't show up in the game either, which was pretty interesting. One character being interesting, but I will get into him. I can't really for the life of me remember his name, but yeah, well, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure it's Fizz.
just to
Go ahead.
piggyback off what you just to piggyback what off you're saying, Wolf. Is that I love the opening because it starts off as sci-fi action, what I think is sci-fi action, and then it jumps into crime drama, and then in my opinion, beautifully merges the two genres. This is sci-fi with crime drama, sci-fi crime drama, which is a
Mhm.
genre that's really never had a good run because they never knew what to balance or unbalance because they couldn't properly balance both genres. One needed to win out in the end. But here in this
Right.
series, it bleeds almost together perfectly and like it's symphony. It's beautiful.
For some, they're gonna probably be on my boat where some parts of the opener arc kind of drag a bit,
I
and
agree.
some characters Some
Go ahead.
characters don't really elevate the story enough much.
Mm-hmm.
Most characters don't really have an importance, or at least they don't really impact enough to the viewer. At least until when we get to Beyond the Grave with his measure, because sadly, what's I would say this right now before we even get to wrapping up by the end of this stream. What hurts this anime the most is the game,
Mm-hmm.
because
Well,
everybody
because
knows that.
the game had to make. I remember this is an anime based off of the game, and they couldn't really go down the game's route, so they had to find an alternative way of ending the series. But to this show's credit, they don't just end it abruptly. They instead say,
Mhm.
"No, we need we've started this story, and yes, we're going to end it different from the game, but we need to end the story in a way that does justice to what we have built up to."
What I
And
will say
the game,
is, go ahead.
which, like I said, you got to think of the game and the anime that it's based off of, two separate things, but still equally enjoyable.
Mm.
And go ahead, Wolf. What were you going to say about it?
Yeah, one thing I would say before we begin was Graves' death is much different in the
Mm-hmm.
games than in the show. Just
Yeah.
for those who probably didn't get that far into the series.
Oh yeah.
And like I said,
First,
there are some boss designs. Sorry, it's going to. There are some boss designs that I did not like in this anime. Most because I played the games and their designs are a lot better. However, I will relent and say that their designs were necessary to be designed that way because animation wise.
mm-hmm.
Where am I, man?
Mm.
We'll have a banner over our fucking faces.
Mhm.
It's really incognito on this bitch.
Are we incognito? I think
Copy.
we are.
Oh no, we
We
already got
are.
avatars up.
Yep,
I
we
don't
are
give a damn.
already.
We're talking about fucking anime, not ourselves.
Hey,
So let
Retneck,
me
what's
fix
up?
that while you guys
It's
talk.
good to see you.
Yeah, I was about to mention him. What's up, Red?
What I didn't get is that okay, this show is a mafia show.
Yeah.
Yet, I was reason why I was very bored because there's nothing intriguing me about these characters. That's the that was the kind of thing. I didn't care what was happening.
Yeah, it's like what Wolf says. They kind of see it starts off with first we're starting at the middle of the story, and then we go back to the beginning on how we got to that point, which I
Yeah,
love.
well, yeah,
Um,
but the
which
thing
was,
is that
but hang on, Fizz. I'm almost there. I'm getting there.
I'm finished.
The So then we jump to the beginning of the story and we see young Brandon and Harry and their crew and how they're, living their lives, day in the life. And then what I like though is that the episode sets up the status quo, but then immediately drops the moment that changed their lives forever. And it was just a street hustle. Or no, street fight. Sorry. It was a street fight and some guys were muscling in on their territory and they had to fight them off, and they were able to fight them off. But it turns out that the guy's brother, who's actually a hitman for the mafia, is back in town, and he doesn't
That's
like the
fucked
fact
up,
that
dude.
he's a hitman for the mafia, and he sees his brother fighting low-level thugs, and he says, "Yeah, though you're my disgraceful brother, I'm gonna have to take responsibility because you're making the family name look bad, so I need to rectify this." So, and he does, and it's terrible because he killed. Go ahead, Fizz.
Yeah, but here's the thing: there's nothing intrigue me about the protagonists. Like it doesn't make me care about them. So I didn't.
But is he talking about the protagonist right now? I'm fucking with you, Fizz. Keep going.
It's all right. Fizz. So, yeah, go ahead.
There's nothing intrigue me about the protagonist. I don't care what's happening. Like, I really don't care. I don't care.
The problem with Brandon as opposed to Grave is that Brandon is a silent protagonist, even though he speaks. He has very little to say at times.
Mm-hmm.
I had no problem with Brandon. I had no problem with Brandon or Harry. But the problem is the problem is they don't have.
Who the fuck are you talking about?
I know. I'm talking about the actual personalities of the characters. I don't have a problem with. The problem is there's the story structure, not the flashback thing. The fact that the story give me no reason to actually care and invest into these characters.
I
Okay.
okay.
So like for example, I don't know what exactly are they doing after the comrades get killed. After I don't know what they doing. What I don't know what I don't invest in these characters like because like I said I'm not following. Was it goals here? Did goals just to be mafia dudes? No, for
No, no. What
Millennium
happened?
So I have to
Millennium.
spell this one out for you, don't I? As usual.
because the show makes these characters very uninteresting. Like okay, I'm not I don't get why I'm supposed to
Oh,
care.
I
Their
disagree. See, for
friends
me,
were murdered.
hmm
Harry wanted revenge.
yeah,
Harry
and
almost got him and Brandon killed by the opposing mafia,
hmm
and they had this gunfight right in the mid, right where uh Brandon's Bo's dad was getting buried, who was also a friend connected to the mafia leader Big Daddy,
hmm
which if the fight prolonged itself, it's going to cause a gang war, which is one thing Big Daddy cannot have, and that's where they also recognize Harry and Brandon's gun skills. Brandon would just want the truth of the matter is Brandon just want to get out of the city.
and
Here's
here's
the thing:
another thing. Here's
they both
here's
have
another
two
thing.
different. Hang on, Schooner. Hang on, Schooner.
Yeah,
Here on, Schooner. Hang on. They have two ambitions. Brandon just want to get the fuck out and stay with his bow. Harry wants to get to the top. This is basically mafia drama cliche 101, where
But
you got the ambitious one that wants to rise
mhm,
to the top
mhm,
in the food chain of the criminal underworld. You're gonna go after
hmm
Schooner Fizz. So that's why they end up the way they are. Like they end up becoming the made men of Big Daddy. You know,
hmm
Harry ends up joining as a made man to Big Daddy. Same with Brandon. Brandon gets closer to his bow. The bow is married off to Big Daddy out of sympathy for a friend losing a friend in a gunfight. So they end up
um,
having a child
hmm
together,
hmm
or that's still in question on whose child that is.
Well,
But you know,
yeah, yeah. We'll get to there. We'll get there. But
we'll
my
get
whole
there.
go ahead,
Go
Wolfie.
ahead and explain. No, you go ahead and explain your side of why those two guys end up with Big Daddy as his enforcers.
Okay. Well, see, for me, says I disagree. I think there's a lot of dimension in these characters when we first meet them in the past. We go to the past and we see that first off, they're street guys, like kind of living in kind of like these.
They're West Side Story gangs as
Yeah,
opposed to crime gangs at
yeah,
this point. It's basically start
yeah.
off. Think of it like this. It starts off as West Side Story, eventually going up to upgrading to Goodfellas.
And even what I find even more cool is that there's even elements of Scarface. Especially in the design of Harry, because Harry is clearly supposed to. First off, the show wears his inspiration on its sleeve, and I love it because it's not because it's unafraid to do that. Harry is clearly meant to be a Tony Montana character, but more if Tony Montana had a very likable and charismatic personality.
well,
Tony Montana, because here's the thing: Harry and Brandon live in the ruins of this world, and clearly it's organized crime. There's a lot of government oversight, police corruption. So the mafia is really running the world. Anyway, Harry and Brandon pay their taxes to the mob guys who look after them, and in the meantime, they're allowed to run their little district however they want to. But again, Harry has big ambitions. He wants to be free, as he keeps saying in the show. He wants to be free to do whatever he wants, and Harry's a bit of a thrill seeker. I mean, he's talking about how he goes on dates with these married women and kind of gets into a bit of a fight with other people. If he doesn't just do unnecessary violence, but you can see that he's an ambitious man. Brandon, on the other hand, he's content. He has everything that he wants, and
Hmm
he takes his free because he has everything. He has friends, he has a brother, and he has a lover. And he does, and that's another thing with Brand. So the flaw of Harry's character is that he's a bit of a thrill seeker and ambitious man. Brandon's character flaw is he wants to keep everything the same, and while he is capable of as the show goes on, he becomes a little more lenient on that, like capable of changing. But right now, Brandon's trying to hold on, just tries to hold on to what he has, and he thinks that it'll stay like that forever. And then, of course, like Wolf was saying, is all that changes when some guys want to throw him out. Some guys are muscling in on their territory. The guy the leader of that gang, his brother happens to be a hitman for the mafia. And it turns out that he's not there to see his brother. He's there on assignment. But when he sees what his brother is doing, how his brother is disgracing their family name, he says, I'm going to take care of these guys for you. And it turns out that they're not. So it's through a mix-up of information. There's only one guy of Brandon and Harry's gang at the restaurant that day. They're off rescuing one of their friends who had tried to fence a stolen diamond that belonged to somebody within the mob. So
yeah, some queen pin.
Yeah, some queen pin. So they have to go and rescue him. And I love that scene too, though, because it shows, while yes, these are level street guys, they can handle their own when it comes to a challenge. Harry in particular is a leader. He's and you can see his natural charisma and his way to charm women. This is an important factor because it does lead. It's a setup, which I love. I miss setup and payoff in this woke world of storytelling. It all just magically happened because it's all so cool. But in this show, they're setting it up to show why, and you can better understand how Harry rises up in the ranks. He's very charismatic. He's very calculating. He picks his battles and chooses his words carefully. And don't tell me that, they would have died in that encounter, but do not tell me that Harry's woman skills saved their asses, because I wouldn't believe you. Because the way he's talking to her, saying that she's beautiful and he's willing to offer any services she would like in exchange for sparing one of his guys' life and letting them all live. And everyone's looking at him like, dude, seriously? And she just says, all right, kill them, and walks out of the room, but then comes back in and says, you know what, I've changed my mind. Because she liked what Harry said. So instead they said, beat them within an inch of their lives. And the next scene, they're all outside, and they're like, oh, like, beat the crap kicked out of them. And you're thinking, that was pretty funny. This is going to be a fun, black and blue, but they all emerged barely unscathed. They returned to the restaurant only to discover that the guy that they left behind was murdered in cold blood. And it turns now the audience knows what the character.
Okay. I wanted to jump in right now. Look, here's the thing. The reason why it's not the plot becomes very, very boring is because the hitman, the crazy guy, I forgot what he was called. I forgot.
Yeah, he was called Mad Dog.
I'm talking about the main character's name. I'm talking about two main characters, Harry and Brandon. But what's the crazy guy was called again? Say it.
Mad Dog.
Mad Dog. Okay, the Mad Dog comes in, does all this stuff, dies almost immediately. So none of that mattered. And then they working with the Millennium now. And I'm like, okay,
no.
That did matter.
Actually, no, not in that episode. See, when their guy's dead, they run and they hide, and they're plotting revenge because they realize, holy crap, Mad Dog's in town, and we're going to go up against an assassin. We're probably going to die. Harry tries to fix the situation by going to the mob that they pay protection fees for. But those guys are like, Mad Dog's in town. This is mafia business, so we can't do anything to help you. You best get out of here. You're on your own. And,
Hmm.
What I didn't like was that not long after he died, well they joined Millennium for some reason.
no,
First
no,
of all,
no, that's
There is
not what I.
no some reason. Millennium
There,
is the head of all crime families, fool.
mm,
just hang on, Fizz.
Why
I know.
wouldn't you want to join Millennium? They're the big dogs.
no,
And it does, and
here's
here's the
my
thing.
problem here.
No, here's the
Look,
thing.
here's how we rewrote it. Okay,
Oh, here we
um,
go.
okay, Mad Dog doesn't die. Uh, Mad Dog doesn't die.
You want a
Instead him
story
die.
about a zombie shooter or not?
Exactly, they will get to that.
But
Mad Dog, no,
here's
Mad Dog doesn't die.
the thing.
Okay,
Fizz, hang on. You're saying that they just joined Millennium right up out of the blue, but in that first episode, no, they don't, because Millennium is there and they don't even want them. They say no.
I know, but they're recruited because they good at shooting people.
No
No, no,
shit.
no, no.
Why wouldn't you
That's
want them on your team?
not.
They,
No, it's not. It's not that. If you guys remember, okay, so hang on. First, Mad Dog is there on assignment in from the Mafia after Brandon and him. Uh, hang on. Brandon
If I
goes to
recall
see.
correctly, Mad Dog just want to get even with these jackasses. He also had ambitions too going
He had
forward. He was
ambitions,
going to
but but remember, he was there on a mission. He was
that
there to
too.
kidnap. He was there on a mission, and the Mafia guys actually came to him and said, "What are you doing shooting up that place? You're on an assignment." And he's like going, I know, but I had to take a little detour. You find out
Yeah,
that,
it, that was basically to show how sick Mad Dog can get,
yeah,
even for the slightest of slights, especially when family is involved. He was
exactly.
even there was going to be a build up to where he was going to take on Millennium, which was stupid on his part because Millennium is
Yeah.
so vast. Like
And
you're not taking
yeah.
on just one governing body. You're taking on a lot of guns there. You're gonna take on
Well,
Big Daddy. You think you could take on Big Daddy? Good luck with that. But
and
then
that's
again,
another thing.
he was playing his thing. Mad Dog was trying to play his cards smartly though.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, he got a little bit too big for his britches when it came down to villain monologues, and that's where Barrett came in. And the
Mm-hmm.
only reason why Barrett came in because they killed a friend of Big Daddy's, and you kill a friend of
No,
Big Daddy, that's basically signing your death warrant. And even then, Bear,
well, not just that. Bear was already there hunting him because it turns out you think Mad Dog is working for the Mafia, but no, he's actually working for a rival syndicate, and he's committing an illegal action in Millennium's territory. That's why Bear's down there. Mad Dog is down there in violation of some kind of a territorial dispute. And it's only there does he. So Mad Dog kidnaps a scientist and then gives them to the rival side. And that's when Brandon and Harry run into him. But it turns out that they run into him purely by accident because Brandon is there to see Maria, and her uncle is like, "You need to get away from her, okay? Get away
yeah,
from
he's
her
bad
right
news
now."
at this point.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's right to say that.
Yeah,
I will rewrote is that Mad Dog doesn't die. Brandon and Harry get away, and then Brandon and Harry get away, and then they join Millennium for protection, and from Mad Dog, and then I will make Mad Dog associated with the whole zombie thing. So basically, the guy who was paying the scientists
Dr.
to make
T.
the zombies,
Dr. T.
Doctor T,
they were
exactly.
called the guy who was paying Dr. T. I think they were called. Didn't they call themselves Lightning?
The guy who was
Hmm.
paying Doctor T.
Yeah.
The guy was playing. I'll have them be
Why
working
don't we
together
get
along
into
with.
this topic later on in this stream?
Mm,
You,
yeah.
Yeah.
you jerking yourself off too early, man. We ain't even gotten to the second act or third act for you to be talking about that shit. Remember what
Mm,
we did with now and then here and there? I talked about that shit near the end.
yeah. Okay.
Negro,
Okay.
stop jerking yourself off early in these damn streams.
Mhm,
Wait for the climax at the end, fool. That's why it's called climax.
mhm, mhm,
Dang,
Dear
I gotta teach
God.
this pup something, man.
mhm.
This is why
Dear God.
wolves are the dominant species of the canine genus. You need to learn from us.
Mhm.
You need to get your own pack, boy. What you gonna say, Schooner?
I was going to say, I was just gonna say. So the act ends with Mad Dog getting killed by Bear, but Bear does give Brandon and Harry the opportunity to finish him off, but they both hesitate, and Bear just calls them fools. But earlier in the episode, and I hate doing this because when you forget a key piece of information and then say, "Oh, wait, remember?" I hate doing that, but
You gotta be careful with this one. If you choose to nod off, you're gonna be lost.
I know, I know. I got to remember this. Earlier in the episode, Bear did stop by Maria's house and to talk to her uncle because I think Bear was there to inform the uncle that Mad Dog is in town. We don't know why he's here, but you are protected. We're not coming after you. And because he left the organization and he was always thinking if there's a mafia hitman in town, he's thinking he's on the top of that list. But that also gives us a real clear insight on what Millennium is. They are a very respectable organization, or at least they have a code of conduct. They have a code of conduct.
As many crime worlds do.
Mm-hmm. A code of conduct that is vehemently enforced here. So I needed to. That was a key bit of information, and I'm going to try going forward not to forget those key bits of information. But so he went to the uncle, and he said there is a assassin here. He's not meant for you. He's conducting illegal activity in this area, so watch your back. So
I'm gonna move on from this, by the way, but keep going.
So Bear shows up and he kills Mad Dog, and he tells the boys, you guys are pathetic. There's a girl, Maria. I'm gonna go deal with her. You boys get out of here, and they send them on their way. Harry and Brandon decide that they're gonna go, and they're gonna try to. Harry and Brandon. Well, first thing they do is they take the gun and they go to the hitman's brother and they kill him because he says, you're the reason our whole world was destroyed. It's just me, it's just Brandon and me now. You killed our crew, and because of him, Maria is going to be taken away by the mafia. So they kill the brother, and they decide, all right, we're going to leave the city. They try to leave. First thing they do is they want to go to the guy who they pay protection money from and ask, hey, can you give us some money so we can leave town? And they're like, no way. And Harry just makes a scene basically saying, you guys are just scum. And the guy's like, you know what, Harry? I don't like the fact that this guy insulted us like that. I think we're going to go and we're going to kill them. And so while Brandon and Harry are trying to leave, they get into a shootout and they run into a cemetery. Well, it just so happened that the head of Millennium was actually Maria's uncle's best friend. He comes to Maria and he tells her that he wants to take her away from this terrible place, and I want you to come to live with me in my mansion, but before we leave, can I go pay my respects to your uncle's gravesite? So, of course, they just happen to arrive when Brandon and Harry are having a shootout. And Maria says, oh my gosh, Brandon, and the Millennium head, Big Daddy, which we learn his name is, Big Daddy says, is he your friend? And she says, yes, please protect him. And he says, don't worry, we will. He tells his guys to go deal with those shooters and let the boys live. And they drive away. So afterwards, I love this bit too, because it's, again, set up and payoff. It shows how Millennium conducts itself. These guys are clearly street level thugs, and they're saying, we're not going to trigger a street war here, are we? Are we? No. So the mafia is going to the mafia is stepping in and saying, are we going to have a problem here? And they're like, no problem whatsoever. And he's like, good, I'm glad. Now drop your weapons and run away now. I love that bit. But Brandon and Harry are like going, oh my gosh, you guys are Millennium. Hey, we want to join you guys. I want to join you guys because, you get to do whatever you want and all that kind of stuff. But the guy is even saying to Harry, he says to him, no, we can't have you. No, you're not going to join. And the reason why you're not going to join is because there's more to our organization than just randomly killing people. We conduct ourselves in a manner, if somebody down here is making a problem, we don't kill them. We try to exploit them so that they will give us money. Now, if somebody gets out of line, we may have no choice, but we always do diplomacy first. And he's like saying, so what are you saying? He's saying, I'm saying if you want to join our organization, go to those guys who you were paying protection money to and try, robbing them of all of their money because they don't pay us. They pay somebody else. So get all their money and get it for us. And they say, all right. And they rob the place and they bring it back to Millennium and they say, all right, you boys are in. And what I like about the series, too, is this is where we begin the second arc, with them joining Millennium, and we see how the organization works because it actually shows us these guys at the bottom of the food chain literally moving up. But anybody, guys, feel free to jump in. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm monopolizing the talk.
Man, you monologuing through the whole freaking first act, dude.
I know. I'm sorry.
Let's fast forward to a different part of history, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
The first Assassin's Creed, a recent memory. Yeah, let's fast forward to a recent memory. So they already in the heads. They're made men. They meet specific characters like Lee, Bob,
Mm-hmm.
Bear. They already met Bear, but they also meet Bungie as well, who's going to be their. My memory's scattered because I didn't even get a chance to watch it from the fullest. I've only known the final act, which is
Mm-hmm.
where things get really crazy, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But Bungie is kind of like their big brother, sort of a master, and they're students.
Mm-hmm.
So there are times they go on missions with him to learn the ropes, and there are times that they help him, assist him in hits. I want to go to a specific one.
No, Harry. It's not Harry and Brandon that do that. It's just Brandon. Harry is off somewhere else. Yeah, because
yeah.
Harry being as charismatic as he is, he qualifies for an office job. Whereas Brandon, he's more of an enforcer on the street level. And that's the funny thing. Yeah, he's a grunt, but he's a talented grunt. He has a knack. He doesn't use guns. He doesn't need a gun. He just can physically fight, which for a time actually works out pretty well. And then Harry finally comes and sees him and says, hey, Brandon, you got to set your goals higher than this. You and I, we're going to climb to the top of the social ladder, and it's going to be you and me. I promise. And during that time, you think, all right, they're just going to go at a normal snail's pace. But Brandon, which is funny, he gets a leg up. And he gets a leg up because of Harry. Because Harry comes to him and says, look, I understand that, you joined Millennium because you're thinking one day you're going to see Maria again. But you're not going to be able to see Maria again if you don't have ambition and climb the social ladder. And Harry casually shuffles him in a dress saying, that's where Maria goes to school, but do me a favor, don't go and see her. Which is bullshit because I already said at the beginning, no, Harry, you crafty bastard. Because what comes next is amazing. Brandon goes to meet Maria, and it's revealed that Maria is kind of like seen as a daughter to Big Daddy. So he dotes on her, and he has guards following her, but not in plain sight. So Brandon goes to see her, and it turns out Brandon has made a stir with Big Daddy, which Harry, I don't know if did you guys catch this? Harry exploited that situation, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't get later on was that apparently Big Daddy impregnated Maria, which I didn't get because
we'll get there. We're going to get there because I think they handled it in a very
tasteful manner.
In a very tasteful manner. Yeah, thank you, Wolf. The words in my head dying out of my mouth. So they see Brandon, and Brandon's personally invited to Maria's house, the mansion of Big Daddy, the big boss of Millennium. And you're thinking like, oh crap, what's going to happen to Brandon? And it turns out the head of the Big Daddy of Millennium, he just says, you want to go fishing? Let's go fishing. and I love that scene. They're fishing together and they're having a good time. And it's that very clear fatherly having a talk with the would-be boyfriend, like saying, what are your intentions? But of course, this is on a this is more on a big crime drama level. He says, "You like Maria. You clearly have come from hard times, and you want to move up in my organization. But I got a question for you. What about Maria?" And he's like, "I care about her, and I want her to be happy, and all that kind of stuff." So Big Daddy's like, "Good, because I want Maria to be happy too. So I'll let you come and visit her." And of course, Harry exploits that situation by getting himself noticed by Millennium. He says, "Oh, hey, yeah, my best friend Brandon. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine." And in the meantime, Harry, especially when he introduces us to his two coworkers, because Brandon and Harry's two coworkers, like mirror opposites. The two coworkers that Brandon's with, they're very much set on being street level guys in the organization. That's where we're heading. Whereas Harry's two coworkers, they're just as ambitious and thirsty as he is. So, what was I going to say? So Harry begins, okay, so now we're noticed by the big bosses, which means now we gotta do something to get us promoted within the organization. So they said one of these guys, I forget his name. He's the intelligence guy. What was his name?
Bob. You talking about that guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm talking about the bad guy. Bad guy Bob, and because I remember Ballad Bird Lee, but I do not remember Bob.
So it's Bob, Lee, Baird, Bungie, who are all introduced in the first episode of the anime.
Yep.
Right at the back. Bungie being voiced by none other than our charming voice actor Steve Bloom.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, by the way.
Wait, nope. Oh, wait, Lee was actually voiced by him. Lex Lang was the one who voiced Bungie. Interesting. Okay. He does do multiple voices than a Spike Spiegel voice. So, yeah, always be a lookout for that one.
Yep.
But, yeah, okay. I stand corrected. It was Lee that was voiced by
which one was the fat guy? Which one was the fat guy or eating all the time?
Bob. I just said his name, man. Pound Max. His last name is Pound Max.
Yep, Bob Pound Max. And you know what? I got to tell you, I'm not going to lie. Every time I saw him on screen and he was eating, he was clearly the metaphor of gluttony. He's the guy who's eating all the information, and it doesn't matter what you got. You can't hide anything from this guy.
The dude is fucking intelligent.
And ultimately, what I love about this is that you find out that Bob is the intelligence guy. He has his own intelligence that's so secret. He doesn't share it with Harry. He doesn't share it with Ballad. He doesn't share it with anybody. And Harry lets him do that, which later on as the show comes around is going to bite him in the ass. Because it is. It's going to, because we'll get to that. So Bob is listening in on all the intelligence, and he says, "Hey, guess what? It turns out these guys, they got a big grudge against these gangs right here. They got a big grudge against Big Daddy, and they're planning on actually doing a hit." And, you know, Harry goes through the proper channels, but Big Daddy is still going to go to that little ceremony that they're going to hit. And Harry says, "Perfect. Hey, Bob, did you happen to leave out the information on when they were going to strike?" "Yes, I did, because Harry, you and I are going to go and intercept them first." And he's like, okay, and Harry's like, "Let's make it a big show so everybody knows that it was our guys who did it. We need Millennium especially to know that it was us who did it." Well, it just so happens coincidentally at that ceremony, Brandon was invited by Maria. Maria and him are dancing. Big Daddy is obviously in the hotel. And Brandon excuses himself because he needs to go to the bathroom because he's trying to deal with his feelings for Maria. What is he going to do? And then suddenly he hears gunshots. And he realizes, oh, crap, an assassination attempt is going on inside this hotel. Harry thwarts the guys outside, but there's one assassin in the hotel. And Brandon, he never misses a beat. The first time, and this is, I've always remembered this moment because it was so
he blocked
cool. Because this is the first. No, he actually, this is the first time Brandon picks up a gun. Because ever since then, he's been doing enforcing with his fist. but this is the first time he actually picks up a gun. And it just so happens the moment he picks up the gun, Big Daddy's rounding the corner and they see Brandon, and right behind Brandon, an assassin comes out trying to shoot Big Daddy, but Brandon jumps in front of Big Daddy, takes the shot, and then he fires the gun, killing the assassin dead. But that was the moment Brandon said he stopped hearing Maria's voice. And that's an important lesson because right after that episode, we get a time jump, 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And Brandon was taken right under the wing of Bear, and he is using guns. It's a natural progression of his story, which I really loved. I love the fact that these chapters are so well laid out. That's one thing I love about this show, too. The chapters are laid out so beautifully, and they transition into each other so well. Because Brandon getting shot signifies the end of one chapter, and the 5-year jump is, all right, this is the start of the next chapter. Harry's already made himself a big name within the organization now. He's now becoming the top earner. He's starting to work his way up, which is pretty cool. I think this is, in my opinion, this is where Gungrave really picks up. But for you, Fez, I think this is where you said a lot of it really stagnated. Because they were doing that. I do say that it did extend a little longer than it had to, but it was, but a lot of character development was into this, so you can understand how the organization works. That's what these next few episodes do. They kind of establish the ins and outs of the organization and set up a sort of status quo where you learn the rules of the family. If you're a part of the family, that means you're big time, and all that kind of stuff. We also get the moment where Harry is putting the moves on Bear's daughter. That disgusting Harry. That devilish Harry. That smart as hell Harry. Because you could just see that Harry...
the magnificent bastard.
Yes! And this is the part of the story which I think Gungrave succeeds. It makes me root for this bad guy, but then makes me cheer when it's his downfall. That's a good storytelling, how you have a villain as your hero, because you want to root for him, but you're also privately hoping he gets a major comeuppance. And boy, does Harry get it. This show paid off on that one.
Let's fast forward to a recent memory where the necrolization kind of comes in and gets more of a sort of set and later being used effectively near the final act.
Yeah, this is. I think this is kind of cool because once again, the rival to Millennium.
But I was gonna say there are villain protagonist stories that are done very differently. One really good one is Rampage by Uwe Boll, the 2009 movie. Yeah. So, and that movie don't root for the main character at all. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that's not the only way to do a villain story.
No. But when we get to the sci-fi bit of the story, it's kind of cool because they
finally picked up. Finally some interesting happened. Introduced this character called War Dog, Blood War. Yeah. Like I said, I honestly feel that Mad Dog and Blood War should merge together. But Blood War showed up, and he's and once he resurrects the zombie, he kills all his men to make zombies.
Well, so hang on. Blood War gets out of prison and he goes to meet his partner, who turns out his best friend, who the two of them had come to realize that
he used to be in Vietnam.
Yeah. Well, no, they were in
the Middle Eastern war. Middle East.
Yeah. Yeah, the two of them realized that they were going to be soldiers their whole lives and that this world of order is not good. We need chaos because that's our battle.
For the record, hang on, guys. For the record, I wish Blood War was in the game.
Yeah,
comment. Go ahead, Schooner.
Blood War I actually like very well. Blood War, him and his partner, because they was over the top.
Yeah, I like them too.
They're both over the top supervillains.
I agree.
He kills all his men and makes them to zombies, and then it's good. They're actually going to take over the world,
as it's called.
Yeah.
It's zombies though. That's a surprise.
Well,
They're zombies though.
but what I
He's going.
like about this show is that they don't jump into, oh wow, Millennium is actually now going into the sci-fi department. No, they instead make it an adversary for our heroes to face. It's like they're fighting a whole new style of warfare because this guy, the scientist who they kidnapped at the beginning of the story, is working on reanimating dead bodies. So Blood War and his partner are like, oh, awesome. So let's get some of our most loyal men. We'll have them be reanimated as zombies because you can't kill them. Every time you shoot them, they get back up. And we're just going to declare war on the crime syndicate.
Oh, we got Redneck interested in this anime.
Yep.
Despite us arguing over it.
Hang on a second. Hang on, I'm almost there. So immediately Blood War is like saying, all right, let's resurrect all of these 20 guys of mine and let's just go on a crime spree in Millennium's territory. Millennium is like, okay, let's go deal with these crazy guys. They can't stop us.
And they always run out of bullets, of course.
Yep, and they're running out of bullets and they're like, okay, we got him. All right. Oh my God, they're rising from the dead. What the hell's going on? And again, we're getting two different stories here with Brandon and Harry, which I really love because throughout the anime, we're getting two different stories. One from Brandon's point of view because he's the street guy who's taking care of all the violence. And then we got Harry who's kind of doing the whole diplomacy of this organized crime. So Harry decides, all right, let's
brains and the muscle.
Yeah, brains and muscle. So it's like, all right. And Maria, not unexpectedly, Maria is the heart of this story because Maria
we haven't gotten to her yet.
No, we have not, which is kind of sad. But Maria,
not much about her. We don't get much about her.
I disagree. Maria is the sweet summer child. She is the innocent.
And so is the other chick.
Mika.
So is the other chick. They're both. Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't get that much screen time, so I don't really know. Like,
Mika gets the most screen time than her mother.
Mika does get more screen time, and Mika's role is actually just as important. Than Maria, but Maria is supposed to be the heart. Maria.
I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that because she didn't get much actual character.
Oh, I disagree. I think
she didn't get that much action doesn't mean that they don't talk about her.
They talk about her, but that doesn't mean talking about a character is the same as seeing a character.
I disagree because it really I disagree. Her character helps elevate the other characters in the story. Her character as a character personally is badly written, but but this show takes advantage of a badly written character by elevating other characters around her. So we know that she is Brandon's motivation for why he keeps on going. Maria is Big Daddy's motivation because he wants to make the world a safe place for Maria. Harry is the unnecessary evil that we willingly turn a blind eye to when we really shouldn't. You get what I'm saying? Because he's ambition. And what happens to ambition? Yeah, the man behind the curtain. He's supposed to be the blind ambition. And what does blind ambition do, which is the whole point of Gungrave, is that it leads you to your downfall. Blind ambition. Blind ambition leads you to your downfall. So while Brandon and Harry are doing this story, we see Maria, and Brandon has not seen Maria in these 5 years. And he doesn't go and see her because he doesn't believe that he is good enough for her. Big Daddy and Harry both, and I even said the exact same thing. They all say, "You idiot," or "Baka, you idiot. She's into you. She wants to be with you. Why can't you see it, you dumbass?" But you see Brandon.
Like other times, of course. We all know that.
Yeah, that's a product of that anime style that I really hate. It's like, it's clear these two characters love each other to bits, but them constantly dancing around the issue and it doesn't even get resolved in this anime, which kind of bugs me. But that's one that is one critique I'll agree with Fizz on. That Maria seems to be that Maria is an underutilized character, and the whole romance angle with her and Brandon really just, pun intended, fizzles out.
I mean, like I said, she's because I'm more of a prop. Like I didn't feel anything there because I don't.
I was
She
gonna
don't
bring
get
that
much
up
screen time.
too. She tends to be a prop and more of a subject of topic
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
of conversation. I'm sorry, of conversation.
Yeah, Mika is a little more active because she has
exactly.
more.
Of course,
Mika
yeah.
is more active because she's the one who's saying, stop the violence. The violence has to stop. Some might call that weak, but I dig it with Mika because she's
She has
surrounded by.
deep characteristics in the game, by the way.
Yeah,
So just letting you guys know that.
and that's another
Even
reason.
hang
The
on, hang
game.
on. The way how you view the characteristics of the characters in the game is mostly in the mission ready room, which is again you select the options and you talk to them, and that's where you hear their thoughts, their ambitions, what have you, what they're gonna do once the operation is done. You know,
Mm-hmm.
speaking of family or live somewhere by the countryside or what have you. That's what you kind of get. Like it's a process that you have to patiently get through, but you see it. You see where the characteristics is coming in at.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like the anime is concerned, you here's one thing that I did like this one moment in I believe the first episode with when it came to Mika was the
Mm-hmm.
fact that when she sees Beyond the Grave for the first time, and she
Mm-hmm.
and she wants to take revenge on Millennium, but she knows she can't when she tries to practice gunplay, or at least like practice with shooting, and she can't even hit the target. And she's basically all about avenging her mother's death, and
Yeah.
she puts the gun down and noticing that Grave is taking care of that leg work, and she come to realize that she has to trust in Grave to get the job done instead of just or at least like focusing on healing rather than revenge. And she realized how weak she is when she's talking about trying to avenge her mother. She can't even hold up a gun properly, much less shoot it properly.
Mm-hmm.
Which how often do you get something like that in media nowadays?
You
Not
literally don't. In none whatsoever. In this woke media, they would say that Mika is a quote unquote the male fantasy of what a woman should be in a TV show. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Mika is literally the most human of human characters. This is a young woman with this is a 13-year-old girl with no friends, no allies, with a massive criminal organization coming to kill her.
When she was
Okay?
13.
Yeah, she's 13 years old. And she doesn't even have skills to defend herself with a gun. So no, this is a very grounded and a very real character. She knows she can't win.
that's not to say she can't just learn these skills later on in life, of
Mm-hmm.
course.
Yeah, no.
What what I do like is, and here's the reason why I'm actually doing the stream now, because the third sequel to the Gungrave game franchise so far that's slowly growing, Gungrave Gore, is still in the works. Now, whether it's still in development or not is anyone's guess, but like they showed a very much matured in one of the trailers. They showed a very much matured Mika that's well versed in gunplay and in martial arts.
Yeah.
Granted, you don't see Dr. T with them anymore because of if you ever played the game, you know why.
Mm-hmm.
Or of course, if you watch this anime, you also know why. Then again, the anime does things differently.
The
Anyways,
anime, yeah. I knew that, yeah. I was just so glad it didn't end on one of those cliffhangers where you had to play the game in order to know the end. I was just grateful for that.
No, okay. The thing in that's in this show What I didn't get was okay. We got okay.
Because you want us to get to the part where you actually like this anime.
Here's the part. Here's the only thing I part I really like his anime was the zombie. When the part when the first part Blood War,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and when we got to that part, Blood we had his characters. I think he's Chinese, but he got these three balls of spice on him. I don't know what that's called. And
Are you talking
Harry
about
got
No, never mind.
Harry got him to turn on the Blood Wars partner. I forgot what Blood Wars partner called.
Yeah, Ballad Lee. It was Ballad Bird Lee.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lee.
yeah. Lee wasn't part of Millennium at that time.
Mm-hmm.
No. But it's also, once again, what I think is cool is that it highlights the skill that Harry has. Harry's a people person. He could convince anybody. He could bend anybody to his whim.
Exactly. And then of course, Lee stabs the I forgot what the guy's name is. Stabs the guy in the back.
That's why he's stubborn so damn much.
Exactly. And then I love this. I love this part. Blood War turns himself to a zombie, a super zombie, and then they have a boss fight almost like in a video game, of course, like a Resident Evil or something.
Because he wanted to continue the battle.
Because he wanted to continue the battle. And thing is, he doesn't lose his intelligence. He still got the same intelligence and everything. He's just a zombie now.
Yeah.
He does have a bit of a rage moment though, but still, he's still functioning.
I know. That's what I like. And this show actually makes zombies interesting because normally in zombies are very, very, very boring stories because they all have the exact same plot.
Well, these zombies can turn into guns and swords this time around.
Yeah. Well, not only that, too, is that what's cool is that what ends up saving, because here's the thing, the zombies are taking down Millennium, and you think, holy crap, these guys are going to lose. But then you realize, wait, I saw the beginning of this. Is this how they lose and all that stuff? Nope. It turns out that they win the day simply because the zombies have an expiration date. That the zombies stop working after 72 hours.
Yeah, 3 days they stop working.
After 3 days, they stop working. And
they work around that, though.
They worked around it, though, later.
Yeah, they worked around it.
They perfected it somewhat.
Which is what, what is it? They worked their way around it, but only afterwards, because after the zombie mess is done, Harry takes over the business interests of Blood War. And he says, okay, scientist, you were working for the other side. You're going to be working for me now. I want to know more about this because this has just totally game changed my entire ambition. He's like, I'm going to use this to take over Millennium. So then we do another time jump after that. We time jump, if I recall, 3 years.
And that's what's going to be working against this movie if anybody decides to watch this anime. If anybody decides to watch it,
multiple time jumps.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good and a bad thing all at the same time.
The only knock I give
smartly in a way.
Yeah, the only thing I give against the 3-year time jump is that it's a line of dialogue and it's a blink and you'll miss it moment. The reason why I love the 5-year time jump is because the name of the episode says 5 years. If the next episode had said 3 years later, that would have been fine with me. It's been 3 years after that incident, but it's a key, and that's another thing that I love about this. It's like, yeah, we're not here to tell the entire long, massive story. We're here to give you the important stuff and the years that they have been working for this criminal organization, like Goodfellas or like Scarface. We're trying to show all these time jumps. So after 3 years, Brandon has actually refused to see Maria. Harry is still the top earner of Millennium, and his
and then
intelligence.
Big Daddy decides to step down, and
Well,
he gives.
hang on. Because after the
Don't
three
jump
years,
ahead, man. You don't
after the
jump ahead the wire or the bomb, Fizz. You gonna blow us the hell up, man. Damn.
so in the
We put
previous,
you in the back seat when we go on operations like this. You be shotgun.
he's So what was I gonna say? Okay, so
Go ahead.
Harry's the top earner of Millennium, and he's dating Bear's daughter, and this is the moment where Bear becomes aware of their relationship. The Bear is aware to give a scare. Sorry, I had to do that. The Bear is aware, and he's going to try to give Harry a scare, but he does not. But Harry's not intimidated. Bear instead is like, "What are your intentions? Are you dating my daughter to ascend higher into the organization, or do you genuinely love her?" Now, to Harry's credit, he actually does say he loves her, but he's not lying in the fact that he didn't weigh the benefits of marrying this girl.
No,
He
her name's
definitely.
Michael, right?
No, is it Minnie? No. What was her name? Shoot.
Yeah,
Oh,
Minnie had more screen time than more screen time than Maria.
yeah, she also had a better character development, in my opinion,
Exactly.
because
You
it
just
shows that
love their relationship, pretty much.
you pretty much do love their relationship because you see it at its most innocent.
The thing
Harry
is,
is,
you expected him to treat her like shit once they got married,
yeah,
right? No, he
exactly.
loves this woman.
He does.
For a
And
scumbag that he is, a dastardly scumbag that he is, this is what makes him human in a way, or at least like this is what keeps the show's story grounded in a way. He loves that
yeah.
woman.
Oh yeah. I think her name was Shelley, wasn't it? Shelley.
I think it was Shelley.
Yeah, Shelley. But
I know it's Ness.
yeah, I knew. Or Sally. It could have been Sally or Shelley. I don't know. I'm gonna.
When in
This is
doubt,
gonna bother
Bean.
me. Yeah, when in doubt. But what was I gonna say? So yeah, he's serious with Bear's daughter, and Bear comes to him and says, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I genuinely love her." And Bear says, "All right, treat her well." And that's one of the cool things is that that Harry marries Shelley, and coincidentally, at the same time, it's a mixed blessing because he loves that girl, but at the same time, it also means that Bear is now in Harry's pocket.
That was on purpose.
And that was on purpose. Okay, because Bear wants his daughter to be happy, and if she's happy, and his daughter's only happy if Harry's happy, and if Harry's happy, then you get what I'm saying here. So Harry does love this woman, but do not think for a second he did not weigh the benefits of marrying her.
Yeah, he wanted an ally, and he got. It was a win-win for him because like we said, he loves his woman, but at the same time he wants to make sure if he wants to ascend to Millennium, he's got to have people that's going to back him up. And already at this point, like the cogs are turning.
Yeah.
With the way how Big Day is running the show, Bear's kind of like losing. He's kind of getting skeptical about Big Day's leadership, and that's an opportunity for Harry to exploit. So we have that. Plus, we still have Brandon not in the know of this. We got Mia in the Maria in the middle of it. We got.
Yeah. Go ahead.
He's basically while this is happening, basically Harry is breaking down he's breaking them down so that he can get to Big Daddy.
He's tearing down Big Daddy's house of cards, and he's building his own house of cards. Which I love about this series. It's going to pay off in the finale. This is the setup to the eventual payoff, which is going to be great. He's tearing down Big Daddy's house of cards, and both characters, Brandon and Harry, are at a crossroads because Brandon is dedicated to the ideals of Millennium. Harry is trying to rewrite the rules of Millennium. So we get old versus young. Do you stay with the old guard that is possibly going to deteriorate, or do you go with the new guard that's getting stronger? And Brandon makes his choice. He sides with Big Daddy. And the reason why he sides with Big Daddy is ultimately why he joined Millennium in the first place, to keep Maria happy. And in the 3-year time jump, he hasn't seen Maria. Big Daddy, to his credit, which I really love, he sets up a meeting between Maria and Brandon. Brandon coldly turns her away because Maria...
Quickly, let me point this out. Baird's daughter is Sherry. That's her name.
Sherry. Okay, so yeah, I was wrong. Sherry. Thank you.
I actually found Sherry more of an interesting character than Maria because she has more character
Would you
there.
drop it and move on?
So he sets up the meeting.
That, man.
So he sets up the meeting between Brandon and Maria, and Brandon is very off-put by her because he is saying, I am a hitman in the mob. I could never make you happy. And I'm not here to make you happy. I'm here to... It's almost like I protect you now, okay? Whatever we could have had, whatever we did have, that's over and done. Which I'm also going to give Gungrave a lot of credit for this. Brandon, while he still loves her, he loves Millennium more in this scene. It's duty before my happiness, and my happiness is seeing other people happy. And you will never be happy with me because I'm dedicated to everyone in this organization, to their personal happiness. I mean, you see the way Brandon treats his own men. His own men love and adore him because he treats them so well. So he tells Maria that you and I cannot be together. And I love that bit. And he does it in the most simplistic way. He says, I am a killer, Maria. You cannot be happy with a killer. So he walks away. And as he's walking away, Big Daddy says to Brandon that he loves Maria. Over time, since they had been together, since she first came, he grew to develop feelings for her. And that meeting, which I love, was Big Daddy asking Brandon for his blessing. Is it okay if I go ahead with this? Did any of you guys get that vibe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Quickly, I'm going to answer Rhett's question. It's Millie. You just cannot ignore adorable tall girl with a Gatling gun.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
For the people in the back, Meryl Streep and Millie Thompson, Gungrave, Trigun.
Yep. Nope, you can't beat those two.
Which we will be covering sometime in the future.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely got to talk about Trigun. Trigun is awesome.
Trigun is right up there with Cowboy Bebop. Change my mind. Change my mind.
I'm not going to attempt to, man.
No. That's a classic.
Especially, look, if you're there for Cowboy Bebop with the jazz stuff, you definitely gonna be there for the hard rock the hard rock with Gungrave.
Yeah, I never liked jazz music, which is ironic considering I'm from New Orleans.
No shit. But you're still gonna be watching Trigun, motherfucker, because we're gonna be talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Speaking of which, the reason why I digged on Trigun, because once again, I like conflicts between siblings in anime.
Mm-hmm.
I love how they tell those kind of stories. That's why I actually like. Actually, no, I love Devil May Cry 3 because of the brotherly relationship between Dante and Virgil in that one. But moving on, let's now move on to the coup d'etat.
Yeah. So very quickly, Big Daddy moves in with Maria, and they're moving forward in their lives. And Harry is finally deciding to make his move. Maria is pregnant. She has a kid on the way. Big Daddy's like, all right, time to step down. and he's going to appoint a new head. And everybody's thinking it's going to be Harry. But what does Big Daddy do? He passes him over, and he gives it to somebody else. And oh my God,
As you do.
blood. Yeah. And oh my God, blood froze the minute that episode came around because you're like, oh shit, what's Harry going to do? Because you know Harry's going to do something. They've been building it up this whole time.
No doubt.
But what does he do? He just slowly claps and is congratulating the new guy. And he's like, congratulations. And after he leaves, you cut to time when Brandon and Harry are hanging out, and Harry's like saying, yeah, it's been 3 months since since Big Daddy stepped down and the new guy was transitioning in power. But strangest thing, he got sick. You wonder, doctors say he's not going to make it. Brandon is visibly scared by this because he knows what Harry's saying. So Harry and him go back to the office. They get in the elevator. Harry pushes the button. And I love this scene because it's the elevator. It's both going up. One of them it's very biblical. So after a long silence, Harry says, let's kill the old man, Brandon. Let's kill the old man. Mm-hmm. And he says to him, let's kill the old man, Brandon. Let's take the organization and let's go to the top, you and me. Now they're in an elevator, which I love. This is visual allegory at its best. They're both going to the top of the building. And what does Brandon do? Looks away, punches Harry, takes out his gun, gets ready to shoot him. Because, again, one of Millennium's code is any traitor dies a traitor's death.
But Brandon hesitates because it's his best friend. But Harry then pulls out his own gun and blows him out the window.
Blows him straight out the window. And that's another thing, too. But that's another thing, too, is that Harry, you can tell how pissed off and angry he is because the way he's shooting Brandon. One shot would have been enough to kill him, but he's shooting him multiple times, like visibly angry. And the last shot, he looks him square in the eye, puts the gun barrel to his eyeball, and just yells Brandon before shooting him out the window of the elevator. And Brandon goes falling.
No,
yeah, I'm telling you right now. When I saw the scene of him falling out of the elevator, I got a Ballad of Fallen Angels theme coming. Mary, because I'm like, that was such a reference to Cowboy Bebop, but I give, again, Gungrave a lot of credit because it's wearing this inspiration on its sleeve.
Like I said, it happens in the game too, but it's a much in the same way, but it's obviously one shot this time, not multiple shots. Still got the same impact as the anime does, but like, yeah, and that only comes in towards I believe level 9.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that comes way later as you play the game further in. And like I said, the difference between the game and the anime, like in the game, you fight weird shit, definitely, but you fight weird shit in the game. Like you got freaking topless dudes with big ass scimitars trying to swing at you. You got I don't know if this is true, but probably dudes that are dressed like women.
Weird.
Shooting at you.
Weird. Oh my God. It's Trap.
I mean,
look out, Trap.
I mean, they might be women, but every time I shot, the many times I played that game, every time I shot at the bitches, they always grunt like men. So anything's possible in this world. Just saying. Either they couldn't find a woman to record some screaming voices or some shit like that, or they just didn't give a damn. They just they use those grunts for everybody. But I'm not gonna question that. You got dudes with not 2x4s, but what's those steel beams for construction? Wielding those shit. Sometimes they'll wield freaking rocket launchers and shit. And then that's where you get into the zombie dudes, which is they get the desperado suitcases on your asses. Not necessarily guitar cases, but they do have suitcases that shoot at your ass, and they hurt if you let them. They hurt. You got the ones with the blades too, these sickle blades. You got ones with cannons for fingers, which we did see in the anime, the first
Mm-hmm.
episode. And then you got the winged ones that are shooting at jazz too, like Gatling guns. And then you get into the bosses, which I'm ready to start speeding this up along, so I can tell you the difference between the bosses in the games and the anime, because he does fight them in the same order as the games,
Mm-hmm.
but the circumstances are completely different to how and what location they fight them in, and how their forms differ from the games to the anime.
Mm-hmm.
You also get, but you do get a bit of a more humanizing moment with the villains. Bear being the
Yeah.
most human. Same with Bungie. Bungie even. In fact, Bungie is an interesting case because out of all the ones that went through necrolization, he stayed human up until a point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he went through a special treatment just like they did, but his abilities are different from theirs. Everybody else became a monster, whereas he's Wolverine basically. Essentially, he's essentially Wolverine,
Mm-hmm.
which means he can heal and what have you. Um,
Well, after
after the
Brandon is shot out the
yeah, let's get
window,
to the coup.
the series goes really fast
Mm-hmm.
because Harry's promoted to the head of the organization. Big Daddy gets a letter from Brandon from Beyond the Grave exposing all of Harry's illegal operations and everything that he was planning to do with Millennium, and that he had not stopped Harry because he had hoped that Harry would see the error of his ways and come back. And that didn't happen. So Big Daddy realizes what's going on. He goes to Maria, tells her to go into hiding, and he's got to fix Millennium from the inside. He goes to Harry and he tells him he knows everything. And Harry kills Big Daddy in the most brutal fashion because he says, "You turned Brandon against me. Brandon chose you at the end of the day over me." So he kills
Oh,
Big
sure,
Daddy.
ain't everything but yourself.
Oh, I know. Harry's a hypocrite. But
That's a flaw in his character. That's definitely a flaw in his
mhm,
character.
it's a flawed character. So he kills Big Daddy and tells him that he's going to obliterate his entire legacy. We're going to look for Maria. Well, turns out Brandon's letter also had a little safety net for Maria. He says, "Go see this scientist and all this kind of stuff." So Big Daddy went, before going to see Harry, he went to the scientist, and the scientist had actually taken Brandon's body and necrolized him. And once again, he knows that he's on borrowed time. So and the letter says, "Only call upon me unless it's an emergency." Big Daddy is so touched by by Brandon, that he's like going, "Brandon, I'm going to honor your wishes." So we do another time jump. Oh my God. There are 4 time jumps in this show, by the way. 4 time jumps. So it cuts
It's probably a
to,
blessing for Fizz, because once we get into after the coup, that's where the games part of the anime starts.
mm-hmm. So right after he kills Big Daddy, we do another time jump and we show how Harry has completely transformed and changed Millennium, Ballad Bird, Lee, and Bob. This is what I also like too, is that it shows how he's changed the whole organization from the inside. But they also keep to the very flaw that is Harry. Despite the fact that he is one of the most powerful, if not most influential men in the world, Harry still says he wants to be free. He wants to go to the top. Like I said, that
He's motivated by
ambition.
freedom.
Yeah, he's ultimate manifestation of greed.
Yeah, he is greed. He is man's greed personified, because he cannot. It's just never enough for him. So
Oh yeah.
they finally. I mean, by the time they find, I mean, here's the other thing too. He is so blinded by his greed that he forgets most of his past throughout the anime, which I think is kind of interesting.
Oh, you
because he's
forgot
like,
where you came from. You forgot what you came from.
Yeah,
mhm.
I just want to say this for one quick, but Harry actually reminds me of one of my characters I created. So
Mhm. Yeah, he forgot where he came from. I mean, remember back in the previous episodes, Brandon would always visit the graves of their friends who died, of their old crew who died. And when he asked Harry, hey, should we go see the grave sites? Harry's like, what grave sites? Our old crew. Oh, yeah, them. Yeah, sure. And then we cut to, so when we get to the future, which I love, is one of the guys says, Harry, we found Maria. And he's like going, Maria? Maria. Oh, yeah, Maria. I remember Maria. I have a score to settle with her. She made Brandon. Yes, that was his name. Brandon betray me. It's like, so yeah, go and do away with them. But you can definitely tell that Harry has had Brandon on his mind the whole time. He has never really stopped thinking about Brandon in the years since they've been apart. Am I right?
They've been best buds, so or at least in his head, his twisted brain, they've been best buds, and he guards, he takes he has a very Catra vibe towards Brandon in a way.
I don't think I captured that much since I never watched the She-Ra cartoon about past first episode. That was bad.
I ain't ask your opinion, motherfucker.
No, I'm just saying.
Or
I'm
let
just
me
saying. I don't
rephrase.
know much about
I
that.
don't remember asking you a can't say that word thing. In fact, I'll let Samuel. I'll let Samuel. Wait, hang on.
Sound effect.
Yep, I don't got it, but you know the line I'm talking about.
I
Yeah.
know what you're saying from Pulp Fiction. Love that scene.
Yeah, I just love that interruption. I don't remember asking you a GD thing. Sorry, Monticelli. But no, it's that very possessiveness that really
Mhm.
overtakes him when it comes to his quote unquote things.
The only thing is that he's not gay, like
Yeah,
Casper was.
no homo on his part.
Yep. No
He sees
homo.
people as things to hold on to, which is again, funny enough, as he doesn't see that towards
No,
Sherry.
Sherry, which is
She's
Shirley
kind
the
of
a
guy's name.
for him.
well, it's because Sherry is
Go ahead.
devoted to him. He knows that Sherry's devoted to him, and that's what her character development is. She loves and admires the good side of Harry, and she's choosing to be willfully ignorant because she knows what Harry is. She knows what he does, but
I
she
think it was
sees the
more what
good.
she called him out on it too.
Uh huh. She called him out on it because remember when he was getting guns and she was telling um, Harry, "Don't die before me." That let I love that bit when he tells her that her dad is dead. That's the moment that Sherry knew what her dad was and what Harry is, but she chose to stay with those two men anyway because she loved them. They were her family, and that was
That is
why I
true.
think Harry, which is probably why Sherry is actually Harry's most healthy relationship, which is not saying a lot because Harry's a psycho, a bona fide psycho, but his relationship with his wife is the most healthy relationship in the whole show. I mean, we all saw anyway. So Harry kills Maria, and Mika and the butler are
Yikes!
running.
The fuck was that? Yo, Mike did a feedback, dude.
My mic did a feedback.
Yeah, just fucking rang in my damn ear.
Ooh, jeez. Are you all right?
My wolf ears. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm cool. I'm not gonna go deaf or anything. That shit
So
scared the fuck out of me, though.
so Harry sends his guys over to kill Maria, and Maria tells Mika, the butler, to take Mika to go and find Brandon, just like Big Daddy had instructed her. And Maria gets killed. Mika escapes, and she's able to make it to the doctor. And it's here where Mika finally comes face to face with Brandon. And we actually kind of get a retread of the first episode but they're showing it from different angles.
This is also where the game starts off as.
Mm-hmm.
Only
Yeah.
difference is that again, to point out the difference between the game and the anime. Yes, Mika is injured in the game too. She's lugging around the weapons of what was going to be the weapons of Grave, but they don't get attacked immediately when she gets there.
Yeah.
He actually goes on the warpath in the game. I mean, and of course the starting level is a bar where he's going around hunting Millennium.
Mm-hmm.
Or these people who can point him in the right direction of Millennium, or at least
Mm-hmm.
or at least breaking down Millennium through their contacts in a way. Let me rephrase that. Yeah, he's going around breaking down Millennium through their contacts, their connections, and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Stopping them in their place so he can finally make the kill, the big fat kill, if you will. So yeah, this is the big fat kill. Shit, that's not Clive Owen voice. The big fat kill. Okay, that's close enough. I can't do a Clive Owen voice.
No, I can't. Nobody can do a Clive Owen voice.
I'm getting old, man. I can't do a Clive Owen voice. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could, but I'm getting too old, and I'm only 34. Any chance for me to do it with my young voice? That's slowly moving away. But let's start getting close to wrapping things up because we're about to be heading into.
So anyway, they're being pursued by the Ogre Men in this version now. They're no longer called the Necrolight, but they're called the Ogre Men. And the Ogre Men attack them. Grave is deployed by the scientist. He is mad. He's quite mad. He gets deployed, and he's able to make easy work out of the organoids or organites or something.
Organites.
Yeah, the organites. So after defeating them, Harry's like going, "What's going on here? We don't think." And they say, "Well, it turns out one of our Ogrelites gave us because apparently they had security cameras inside Ogrelites. I don't know, but for the sake of moving the plot forward, it's like, all right, fine. I'm already immersed.
Dead, so that can work to some degree."
So, and they realize, and that's the moment where Harry, now an old man, sees Brandon, and he's like going, "Holy shit, Brandon, you're alive. Well, it looks like I'm just going to have to kill you all over again." And Bob goes, "So it turns out our guy, Brandon Heat, is still alive." And they're like going, "Okay, we got to destroy him right now, because if Brandon's alive, this could mean a problem within the ranks of Millennium, because Brandon Heat was kind of a big deal here." So Bob says to Harry, "Why don't you let me take care of this?" Bob transforms into this organite beast with a helicopter for a back, which I think, is that the design from the game?
Yes, it's a design from the game. He's largely unchanged in this anime. Yeah. But keep going.
So Grave fights him, and of course, obviously, he kills him. And Ballad Bird Lee is super upset because Bob and he were like this. Harry is
good friends.
Yeah, they were very good friends. And Harry's going, "Well, this looks like it's going to be a problem," but Brandon is going, because he says, "Don't worry, we're gonna find Brandon and we're gonna destroy him." And Harry's going, "No, this is gonna be a problem for us in the long term, because Bob was our intelligence guy, and his intelligence was so secret that not even we knew about it. So with Bob gone, he's irreplaceable. With Bob being gone, we're effectively blind." And that's a problem, because our intelligence is how we keep Millennium in order. If we lose our intelligence,
we have no intelligence.
Yep. We basically have no intelligence, which means we can't keep our men in line. But Ballard is like going, don't worry about it. Once we kill Brandon Heat, everybody falls back in line because we're going to kill him with such brutality. Nobody's going to want to step out of line on our organization. So
no, that's not gonna work for that long. But
nope, not going to work for that long. So did you call him? Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, okay, so everybody's going their own different ways of having to try to find Brandon Heat, aka Grave, back from the grave, that the scientist calls Beyond the Grave. That's it. Thank you. That the scientist says his name is no longer Brandon.
Yeah. Just to pump the brakes real quick. Yeah, I'm putting y'all into some territory where the anime I'm going to be introducing you guys to had some interesting way of naming characters.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting ways of naming characters back in the days.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, let me not tread on Zone of the Enders. Dingo Egret.
Mm-hmm.
the bird.
Your guess is as good as mine, but that was his name. That was the main protagonist's name.
An egret is a bird.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the thing is, they named him Dingo.
Wait, hold on. Well, I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, they named him Dingo Egret.
These names are amazing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, these names are crazy, but you know what? I dig it. That's why I'm watching it.
I dig it.
I dig it.
No, that's the thing. I dig this shit, man. I ate this shit up. As weird as these names were, I ate that shit up.
I know.
So I'm like, look, Beyond the Grave is nothing but kindergarten for me. At the shit I heard in most of these games, in most of these animes, I heard some crazy shit.
I just thought it was hilarious the way all of these characters would call him Daddy. They would call him Big Daddy, or some of them would actually call him Daddy. And I love it.
Dude, I'm still waiting for something that will top Angela Balzac's.
I know. I mean, can we? That's like, I think no. We really can't.
I'm sure that's a real last name too. I'm sure. I don't want. Look. At the risk, I'm just saying. I don't mean like if I'm mocking that last name. If that was a real last name, I will thoroughly apologize for doing so.
I know.
You know, I'm just saying it's wild. It's just wild. That's all I'm saying. Wild. But I have yet to find a name that can top that. Yet. I mean, Gone Freeze. Shit. Now I can't remember half the shit I just heard before that was fucking ridiculous. Oh, Red's helping me out. Maya Sazishi. Blanton Pun from English dub of Gintama. Yeah. Oh man, we got to tackle Gintama one of these days.
Just these names are great.
Definitely
anyway.
Peacemaker Kigoro. No, not Kigoro. Peacemaker Kuragane. We definitely got to tackle that one, and Sayuki Reload.
But yeah, I'm just gonna get us back on track here because we got to start wrapping up. So Beyond the Grave, they're trying to find him, and Bungie goes over and is actually able to find him.
Pronounce it that way. I didn't say it the first time.
Say what?
Bungie, man.
I did say Bungie. Or did I say Gunji? Okay, Bungie. Sorry. Bungie.
That ain't his occupation, bungee jumping.
No, but he
his
does jump.
Killing people.
He does jump a lot.
That is true. And he kicks a lot.
Yep. So he goes to
his boss battle is annoying as fuck if you don't know what the fuck to do in that game. He will
Yep.
fuck your ass up in seconds.
But what I love in the anime is that he says, "I know you've been necrolized, and I don't stand a chance."
I'm back.
Okay.
He says, "I know you've been necrolized, and I don't stand a chance, but that's why I'm going to play." He fights him as a man, which I think is really cool. And he's actually able to give Brandon a run for his money. I mean, he even has these anti-necrolized bullets that he shoots at Brandon. And he would have ended Brandon's life had it not been for Mika. Mika does help in this battle because he's just like, taunting her. And that's the thing, too. He could have killed Mika, but he's not there to kill Mika despite his orders the standing orders from Harry to kill Big Daddy's posthumous daughter. He doesn't kill her, though. He wants to kill Brandon. I'm here for you, Brandon. That's what I love about this fight. This fight is clearly personal for the big heavy hitters of Millennium. This fight is always, it's not, I mean, she's an afterthought. Their whole focus is they want to kill Brandon. So anyway, Mika comes in and says, "Please don't kill him." And he just goes, "I'm going to kill him." And then, he's shooting around her, all that stuff, telling her to be quiet. And that's where we really get a personal, that's, in my opinion, in the anime, this is where it gets very personal. Because he tackles him to the ground and he just punches him repeatedly. Going, "Bungie!"
Beating the dog shit out of him.
Yeah. But the way he punches him, like every time he's yelling at him, he's like, "Bungie! Bungie!" Because his betrayal hurt Brandon a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
That one hurt a lot. But anyway, he doesn't kill him. So he goes back to Mika, and this is the moment where Brandon decides he's going to go and he's going to fight him on his terms. So he goes to fight him on a highway, and of course he hides Mika with his two friends that he when he started off at Millennium, the bookies as I call them.
Mm.
And Ballad Bird Lee finds them there and kills the two men and takes Mika away. Brandon is rescued by the scientist on the highway, and he realizes that Mika's been kidnapped. Ballad Bird basically says, "Meet us in the train station. I'm going to kill you with my own hands." And
Boss fights
I think
the same way in the game. Same thing with Bob. He fights him in a suite. He fights Bob in a suite, definitely, and he fights Lee in a basically all the locations except for Bungie is all the same in the game.
yeah, Bungie fights him in the anime. He fights him in a slum.
He fights him again later on.
Yeah, he does fight him again in the lobby of Millennium, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's a dark arena in the not necessarily an arena, but like it's basically a dark space with pillars, kind of like it almost feel like it's a place where they drop bodies at.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily see skulls or dead bodies around, but you kind of get this sense that this is where they keep their dead.
Yeah,
and it's dark until you see Bungie lighting up a cigarette, which was a cool setup. Like he's constantly playing with his lighter until he lights a cigarette, and that's where you begin the fight in that fight. But one thing here's a design difference that I did not like in this anime, which is Lee's design when he becomes when he goes necrolization.
or what they call it superior. I am superior.
Yeah, where he goes superior. I did not like this design. It's a scorpion style design in this version, whereas in the game, this dude, if you see what he becomes in the game, you be like, why didn't they put that in there? But of course, animation constraints wouldn't allow them to do that. But in the game, he's more like a praying mantis bladed kind of monstrosity, and he's like hopping around, cut you and stuff. Go ahead.
The way the anime the way the anime was hinting at and the way they were doing it, the Mantis bit up until when he fully transforms into Superior. Yeah, I thought they were actually going to do his praying mantis bit. Nope. Because remember when he becomes Superior in the before he becomes Superior, we always get little hints of what Ballad Bird Lee can do, and I always thought it was going to be that mantis.
Mm-hmm. A kangaroo
But
mantis, I like to call it.
mm-hmm.
But
Go ahead.
Bear's design, I'm mixed about because it's a nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would say it's actually no, it's the same in the game. The problem is that he doesn't go into a second form in the anime, which
Mm-hmm.
is in the game. Like once you defeat his first appearance, he goes into a second appearance, which is basically a motorcycle tire with a big fuck all arm attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
And he grabs things and throws it at you. He tries to do a doom fist punch at your ass. He tries to backhand you, slap you. And I mean, it's freaking insane how you gotta fight this guy in his second form.
Mm-hmm.
He's a beast, dude. In that
Mm-hmm.
form, like if you're playing hard mode, that dude will fuck you up.
Mm-hmm.
But in the first form, that's basically all great fights. Once he fights him, he fights him basically in the same location. But the difference is that that's the only form he fights him in. Which again,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I'm disappointed at the fact that they didn't choose his motorcycle form, which I would like to see as animated mostly.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, it's a cool fight. And here's another thing that we didn't bring up yet is that as Grave goes, he progressively gets damaged and loses
Mm-hmm.
some of his weapons. At least his
Yep.
arsenal. His arsenal begins to downgrade as he keeps going. His armor is broken. Technically not his armor, but let's call it that because it's cool to call it his armor.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, he's basically is in a way he's kind of reduced to being human slowly throughout the anime to the point where he's
Mm-hmm.
reduced to a long coat and just two guns. Yeah, once he takes down Lee and Bear's the one responsible who cuts his what's his arsenal's called again? There's Cerberus, but what was his great his coffin?
You're talking about his coffin gun. Yeah, he destroyed his coffin gun.
Give me a sec. True Graves.
But what I also love about the series is that with every loss of Millennium's inner circle, you see the organization is coming apart.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, even war starts breaking out, and there's even infighting when the Millennium heads all say, hey, I think you need to step down and let all of us within the organization deal with this. Because Harry, this is too personal for you. Whereas Harry's like going, I understand what you're saying. Hang on, let me prepare my rebuttal, and then in comes an ogre man and just shoots all of them.
He don't give a damn.
I know. That's one of my favorite scenes in the anime. He's like going, I see. So you all feel this way. Okay. Well, before you guys make any rash decisions, can you just hear my rebuttal for it? Thank you so much. Ogre man walks in, shoots everybody else to hell. And he's like going, do you guys see my point? Do you see my point? Now that was dark now that's dark comedy.
Dude, Gene Hackman, the monologue that Gene Hackman gives in Quick and the Dead,
mm-hmm.
that would fit perfectly. And it'll be even more darker humor if he's just saying it to a lot of dead bodies right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused. All I hear about you spineless cowards, is how poor you are. When suddenly somehow you scrounge up the money to hire a gunman to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Who's making it? Who's been hiding this money? Because if that's the case, I'm gonna have to tax you more. Because in case you haven't forgotten, this is my town. You live to see the dawn because I allow it. I'm the one who gets to decide who lives and who dies. Pow! Gunman's dead. Old news. That would have been perfect.
I'm going to tell you right now, Gene Hackman just loved playing those cartoonish bad guys. You can tell he's just, when he's Lex Luthor or even in Quick and the lesser known Quick and the Dead, which is a very underrated movie, if you want my honest opinion. Quick and the Dead is an underrated movie.
I love Quick and the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Raimi.
Yep.
Sam Raimi for Spider-Man.
And a young Leo DiCaprio.
Mm-hmm.
That outside movie.
And a very beautiful Sharon Stone with an unknown. What's his name? I'm blanking on his name right now. Russell Crowe.
Mm-hmm. With a
very well known Lance Hendrickson.
Mm-hmm.
Playing Ace.
Yep. Like I said,
Goliath himself, Keith David.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Keith David with Sergeant Cantrell. How you spell it correctly? I love that line. Correctly. There are times when people ask me how they spell my name. I'd be tempted to say that correctly, which is a tall order when you know my real name.
Sam Raimi was not also trying to create authentic West. He was just trying to have fun, and that is Sam Raimi having fun. And when you let that man cut loose,
bitching about how inaccurate some of the guns are and some of the gun handling, I'm like, get the fuck out of my face with that shit.
He was not going for authenticity. He was just, I'm telling you, that's Sam Raimi when he's just cutting loose and having fun.
Authenticity? Spotted horse cannot be killed by a single bullet. I had 2 in my left leg, 1 in my back, 3 on my side. There's 1 in my head, and it hadn't come out yet. That's enough. Scene I love when Spotted Horse shows up.
Yep.
Spotted Horse was,
yep.
Of all the, truth be told, I love all the gunmen, but damn it, Spotted Horse, man. Spotted Horse was like the top one up for over the top competitor.
Mm-hmm.
Like at this point, like this scene with Spotted Horse became a wrestling scene.
Yep.
I'm tempted to watch that clip right now. Spotted Horse cannot be killed by a single bullet.
Let's do a stream of Quick and the Dead one of these days.
Yeah. if it's possible.
But going back to Gungrave. So he's just defeated. So Harry is the organization is. He just killed those guys who in the boardroom, but it doesn't really matter because Harry's organization turns against him and they attack him in broad daylight. And Sherry gets killed in the crossfire.
Mm-hmm.
Sherry is killed, and that's when he actually starts crying. And it's kind of
along with him.
Yeah, I mean, Sherry
cried.
Those are man tears. You're allowed to cry. But when Sherry died in his arms, I was so heartbroken because she said to him before she says to Harry, "Don't die before me," because Beyond the Grave had already killed her father in a most spectacular manner, by the way, because he honored that man. Brandon honored Bear's death. And Bear fully acknowledges, yeah, I betrayed the organization, but I had the most reason to betray. I had the most human reason. Just like what Maria was to you, Brandon, that made you betray your friend, Harry, I betrayed Big Daddy because I was loyal to my daughter. And it was like, that's so poetic. Beautifully poetic. So anyway, Bear dies, and shortly after, Sherry dies, and Harry is just having a complete and total flashback. He's hunted by the Millennium. He goes back to the old restaurant, and there's where he sees Brandon waiting for them. And I think it's so beautiful. The two of them are sitting in the exact same spot where it all began, and both of them have pretty much hit rock bottom, which I think it brings their story full circle in the most beautiful way. They rose to the top only to fall right back where they were at the beginning of the story. Tell me
Mhm.
that was not beautiful. Anyway, Brandon and Harry finally have their discussion, and Harry keeps asking Brandon, "Why did he betray me? Why did you betray me? Why did you choose Big Daddy? What was it all for?" And Brandon doesn't say anything. Suddenly, the Millennium guys show up, and Brandon starts defending Harry. The two of them start fighting, and long story short, too late. They both go down in a blaze of glory.
Mhm.
However, Mika, which I love, because right after fighting Bear, Brandon tells Mika, "You're going to be okay. I'm going to end this once and for all, and you're going to live safely and live a long life." Mika begs Brandon to stay because she has basically lost everybody. They lost the scientist, they lost the two old men, she lost her mom, she lost her butler, she lost her dad. Mika is like at this point, I can't lose anybody else. Brandon, please just stay with me. We'll run away and we'll be happy. We can be family. And you can tell Brandon wants to do that, but he says, "You got to be safe. And the only way this is safe is if I destroy Millennium." So he knocks her out and he goes to
As you
fight
do in
Gunshot. Yep, like you do in an anime.
anime.
He, yep, in anime. He runs into Harry. What I love about Mika is that she's wandering the streets because Brandon's gone, and she happens to get picked up by the organization. One of the guys say, "Oh my gosh, you're the girl that we're looking for," and they're about to pull the gun, but the bosses show up and they say, "Stand down. Um, the one who originally wanted you dead has been ousted from the organization, so you're basically safe. You don't have anything to fear from us." And Mika's like, "But where's Brandon?" And they say, "Well, we got him cornered right down there." So she runs over to where Brandon and Harry are, and you don't really know what she sees, but she smiles in the end when she sees their dead bodies and says, "We're family again." Mika has clearly broke by the end of that series. I mean,
Now,
oh
do you want me to
man.
tell you the difference?
Yes, please. I want to hear the difference of this and the game. I want to hear the game ending.
So the game basically, oh, get ready for this one. Get ready for this one. So after you defeat Bungie at this point, you are now ascending to what's is essentially heaven. Um, you are fighting basically the organoids at
Mm-hmm.
this point. You get to meet Harry, but then his office explodes, and now you're up against a giant organoid.
Oh my
However,
god!
however, before you even face up to this organoid, Harry says, "There is someone I want you to meet, an old friend of yours or a friend of ours that we used to be loyal to. You get to fight Big Daddy Reanimated."
Harry, you bastard!
I told you he's
You
different in the game. He's way more sinister in the games. Like he turns.
Harry, you
He,
bastard!
I'm surprised they kept that out of the anime because that would have been interesting. Because I mean, they talk about Big Daddy, but like that anime could have used that too a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
but whatever. I'm happy with what we got. But after that fight, you don't get to fight Harry. You get to ascend some more, and then once that's over, you get to meet Harry again. But Grave is pointing a gun at Harry, and you're
Mm-hmm.
hearing him monologue. And he asks, "So you come here to do this? Do what you gotta do." The game is pausing.
Mm-hmm.
You think you're watching a cutscene at this point? No, The game wants you to pull the trigger. By
Oh, that's cool.
quick time event before quick time events was a thing. Well, technically it's not quick time because it's waiting for your input, but not the case. I mean, not the point. The point is you pull the trigger to end the game. Like if
Hmm.
you don't pull the trigger, it's gonna stay like that. Just just waiting for you to pull the trigger because that's how it ends.
Hmm.
At least until we get to Gungrave under overdose, which frankly that one's a missed game. Oh boy, I haven't played it, but I heard me who didn't like it. But we're not gonna get to that because that's not what this anime is based off of. And sadly, there has never been no sequel anime to Gungrave the anime. But yeah, so oh yeah, by the way, Grave is superhuman in the game. He doesn't deteriorate like he does in the anime, which we kind of missed
Which, by the
point
way,
out.
which I also want to say this too, because the series ends with Grave and Harry pointing their guns at each other, doing a murder-suicide pact. But it's been proven time and again that Grave cannot be killed by conventional bullets. So,
Could
you
slow him
know,
down. It won't kill him.
but
But
it
he's
won't
already
kill him.
dying at that point.
He's dying, but I do want to note this too. It's an important note. We don't see Grave die.
Nope. But he doesn't die at the end of the game. He actually takes Mika with him, and they get to ride in his cool ass motorcycle.
Nice.
Oh yeah, he's got a cool ass motorcycle. Sadly, you don't get to use that in the game, but you do get to see it in action in the cutscene. And you get to see him right off to the sunset with "Can you hear the rain? Hear the rain" playing in the background because that's the song that's playing when you're in the waiting room to play the next level. Is "Can you hear the rain?"
Mhm.
But other than that, like we pretty much summed up the beginning and end of this freaking anime. I hope this is enough to get everybody interested in this anime. Like I said before, what really hurts this anime is obviously its berserk golden age beginning. In some spots, like some spots will slow you down, some spots will keep you interested. But all in all, that that part of the anime is kind of like a big slog to get through at times. But once you get to the to where the game begins, that's where things get more exciting. And I'm pretty sure Fish, you probably wish that it would have let off with that and continued on.
No, I'm probably not. I'm not even gonna finish the show because our show overall wasn't very interesting. Like I said, it's very boring. Like I was a little yawning for some parts. Like okay, yeah, you on, yeah, because I know we got invested in the characters. That's the real problem. The
For my
characters.
part, my first viewing, I literally skipped through all that to get to the game part.
I was patient because the whole part with them in Millennium and them rising through the ranks was pretty entertaining for me. So
Yeah,
that when we finally got to where we were in the first episode, I was saying, like, I think this series earned it. It earned that.
yeah. Me being older now, I actually can actually get through it patiently.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But when I was younger, I was like, man, I can't wait to get to the part where he starts slinging those guns and firing that cannon now. You know, but
The story
some of
was
this
kind of
stuff
wasn't
is
very interesting. Though.
yeah,
Yeah.
pacing structure with the beginning what was pretty bad,
Mm-hmm.
and character sets were kind of here and there. Like I said, everything got more exciting when you got to the games part of the anime because everybody's if you're especially if you're familiar with the game or if you played the game, you know what the game entails, and you're just sitting there just waiting to get to that part. If you're really watching that part of the anime, truth be told, you don't miss anything when you skip past that. Anyways, you really don't. That's the sad thing about it too. You don't miss anything at all. You get to that part
Mm-hmm.
where the anime really gets going and line up with the game. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the zombie stuff came out of left field for me.
What?
The zombie stuff came out of left field for me.
I don't know what to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't know what like because before they had been completely realistic mafia stories, then all of a sudden the zombies what some mad science
I
what?
told you to watch the fucking game, dude.
Mm, I didn't watch the game, so I don't know.
You can watch the gameplay on YouTube.
No
Yeah,
shit.
I know
What
you
I'm
can, I
saying
know
is
you
I
can, but I didn't
advise
watch.
all you motherfuckers to watch a gameplay of the fucking game so they will click when you get to that. Damn.
I thoroughly enjoyed the anime, and I thought it was great.
Oh, I enjoyed it. No, nope. Look, that's not to say I didn't enjoy it. What I'm saying is I know where my weakness is at when it comes to stuff like this. I know where I
Mm-hmm.
know where I know where the flaws in it for me as opposed to Fizz over there. We ain't gonna pay attention to him right now. I'm not kidding. I'm kidding, Fizz. I'm fucking with you. Your point is valid though. Like I said, you are basically mirroring what I was when I was younger. Where I was when I was young, and I was younger then when I watched this anime, knowing about the game. I didn't at that point I didn't even play the game yet when I watched that anime. I just knew of the gameplay thanks to G4 TV back when it was good
Mm-hmm.
and not this bullshit they pelling out now, or at least way before they start deteriorating. Which I
Mm-hmm.
would definitely be talking to you guys more about next time, because apparently what I heard G4 is getting canceled. Not necessarily
Well,
canceled, but
no, their format is getting canceled because they're going back to girls in bikinis.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Again, no surprises.
Well, they're going back to what made G4 famous. We're talking like the man show style here.
Yeah, I know.
no. Go back to TV for gamers format. Bring back
Yeah.
Diana Mazoda at least. Shit, bring her back for Filter. Bring back all the people that you get that you treat. Look, if you got a better management at this point, this is now would be a good time to bring back the people that got screwed the fuck over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in fact, remove Alan Sessler. He don't even need to be. He's fucking dead weight.
Yep. I agree.
But hell, it's gonna be a tall order getting Morgan Webb back because bitch is happy. Okay, she happy where she at. She moved on. Like I said in mini stream, the last stream before when I talked about G4 a little bit. Shit, Morgan Webb was carrying his ass in X Play.
Mm-hmm.
Easy on the eyes, my fucking ass. I was listening because of what she had to say about fucking build games, you dumb bitch.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't why I tuned. That ain't the reason why I tuned into fucking X Play. I tuned in for the games and whoever can talk about the games for me, so I know where I can go to buy for quality. At
Mm-hmm.
times, if I need somebody's opinion on whoever played the damn game, so the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I tuned in for Judgment Day, which was also a game review show. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And technology show too. They also talked about game controls and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Bring those two back. Tommy and oh, what's his partner name? What's his former partner name? I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. He was cool too. I didn't ignore him. He had a lot to say. Same thing with Tommy. Tommy was like the comic relief. They were Timon and Pumbaa in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Even though old boy was taller than Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, bring those two back too. I miss Judgment Day. In fact, bring back Arena. Arena could benefit with the online gaming competitions now. With
Yep.
online gaming right now, imagine freaking Arena having fucking Overwatch plays
That would be amazing.
or Rogue Company or Apex. Dude, G4 had fucking closed down before the gaming market blew the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Right before Call of Duty came out.
Mm-hmm.
Too soon, man. And the only reason why, because y'all did not want to focus on fucking video games. Y'all want to focus on shows like Fastlane and Human Wrecking Ball. Though I did like Human Wrecking Balls. Human Wrecking Balls was fucking wild, dude. The Pumphrey
Hmm.
brothers. Let me stop freaking going on tirade and let's start wrapping this shit up. Like, thank everybody for joining us today. That 1% of you and those 0% non-existent motherfuckers out there. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for dropping by and listening for a while and listen to us argue with each other every once in a while and talk shit to each other. And basically, enjoy what we like at this point, which is the format we're heading to with Wolfman Randalls. Even though we do tend to deteriorate to talking about negative shit, we try to steer it towards the positive. But let me speed this along with oh god, you guys can't see it, but they switch places. So let's start with the schooner tuna.
Coming at you live from a secret government facility buried deep underground, but has excellent Wi-Fi. This is Schooner Tuna. Hey, and if you like what you heard today, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want us to talk any more about animes, video games, animes based on video games, or video games based off of animes, just drop in the description of what you would like us to talk about. Until then, this is Schooner Tuna signing off. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Bloop bloop bloop, motherfuckers! You better listen to this man. We have next to him the Georgia Pit Bull, the Georgia Pit Bull, Fish Chozo.
This is Fish Chozo, currently fizzling out.
All right. Please recommend any anime that you probably would want us to talk about. Hopefully, we'll get around to watching it, and then we'll set up a stream to start talking about it. Pretty soon, we'll be doing Macross in the next month, and in the month to come, we'll be doing Tekkaman Blade. And let me see what else we're doing next week or the week after. Sorry, week after. Give me a sec, guys. I'm sorry. I know we
Yeah,
should
no
be.
problem.
Oh, Thursday, me and Matthew Flynn will be talking about giant robots, mostly super robots, and real robots. The difference between the two, and our shows that we watch showcasing that. So if you guys haven't are not familiar with the mech genre,
I'm not gonna be on
uh,
panel for that one.
I don't care, man.
I'll be sure to stop in on the backwatch.
Thank you. Yeah, at least stop in on the backwatch like this motherfucker right here, Fizz, so you can learn
No,
something.
I'm gonna watch it live. I'm gonna watch it live. I'm not gonna be on panel.
I know. But yeah, definitely tune in for that one for this Thursday. Matthew wasn't able to join us today because he had to join Matchstick today for Bakano. They're talking about Bakano. You damn motherfucker fucking stole my damn thunder. You motherfucker, you. I see why there's only one of you motherfuckers here, or one or two. Because the motherfuckers talking about Bakano over there. Damn, I should have got
Bakuman.
in on that.
What's that about? Is that about the little balls? Monsters come out of it?
No. No. I will have to give you the synopsis on the MeWe chat. It for the life of me, I wouldn't be able to explain it properly to you, so I had to give it to you private chat.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
I'm still trying to remember what was the one that had the marbles that had monsters come out of them?
I wouldn't know, man. Anyways, thank you everybody for being here. Just to remind you guys again, just your Wolf Commander Wolf 10, your werewolf once again. To remind you guys, you are the UN Spacey. Welcome to the Wolf Fleet.